Hey guys, Chris Clothier here from REI Nation with another episode of Total Turnkey, where I'm talking about decisions that we make as investors. And today's whole episode is about the investment and the forgotten decisions. What I want investors to understand out of this video here today, the whole premise is to understand that the house we're buying, the property we're buying, that is the investment. Capital T, capital H, capital E. That's the investment. So many times as investors, we focus in on the investment and we fail to ask questions or kind of take into account the other decisions we need to make in order for the investment to work. Oftentimes we're the glitz and the glamour of a great looking PE, a great looking analysis, the numbers pencil out great. These are some of the phrases that we'll use as investors. And we're focused in on the investment. And what I want us to focus on, or certainly not forget, is there's other decisions that will determine the true outcome of the investment. We're told often online and through forums and other avenues that the why is important. Like, why are we investing? We're always told to focus on the why. Retirement, kids, having extra income, whatever it ends up being. I want investors to think about the how. So I have an investment that pencils out great. It's the investment, the property. And I need to be asking how. How is it going to be held? How am I going to close it? How is it going to be managed? How is it going to perform? How am I going to hold costs down and drive revenue up? These are all the questions that often are overlooked by investors. They're forgotten. Instead, we focus simply on a piece of paper that says, this is how much money I'm going to make. We need to ask the question, how? So here's specifically what I think we need to ask. How am I going to buy and hold this property? Am I trying to do things short and quick? As in, I want to get it under contract and sell it before I close. It's called wholesaling. Is that what I'm going to do? I need to know on the front end. Am I going to hold this property for a short period of time and try and do as much work as possible and make a really big return? I'm going to flip it fast. That requires completely different decision making and processes. Am I going to hold this property for long term? Do I want it for the next 5 to 7 years? Do I anticipate having low costs and rising rents so I have more revenue at the end? Well, how am I going to accomplish each of those? Because they all require different decisions. For this, we'll focus simply on buying and holding because that's what we do. Now, how am I going to manage it? Am I going to self-manage? Am I going to hire an outside management company? What are the questions I need to ask them? How can I make sure that that company is going to help me earn the most money possible? What about the renovations? Am I going to be responsible for renovating this property when I buy it? Am I going to hire another company to do it? Am I going to buy Turnkey where they are going to renovate the property? If so, in each of these scenarios, how is that going to happen? What work goes into it? What work is going to help me make the most money in the long term? This all goes into the how of the investment. The investment is the property. We have it penciled out on paper. We have an expectation of what we think it's going to do, but how is it going to perform? How am I going to accomplish my expectations? These are the questions that investors have to ask. Now, in this, we'll put in a list of questions that you need to ask because I think it's really, really important. I won't go through all of them on the video. I'll just remind you that especially if you're taking notes or watching these things, anytime that properties are being sold or we're being told as investors how easy this is and how much money we can make and how profitable this can be, it's not wrong. Real estate can be very, very profitable, but details matter. And sometimes minute little details matter. And sometimes asking these questions is the difference between us hitting our expectations and missing our expectations. Oftentimes we as investors can focus on the investment. The house looks great and it pencils great. But I need to ask the questions of how Is this property gonna perform and meet my expectations? And those are the questions that are the difference between making money and being happy and not making money on our investment and not being happy. Hope this helps today. We'll include the questions in here with the video. And if you have questions on your side, as always, please send them to us. Ask me, happy to respond. If you like the video and you want us to put out more of these total turnkey type videos, like us, share us, let me know what I can do better. And until we get a chance to meet again, guys, take care. We'll see you soon.